The Russell Historical Society presents the history of the Russell train station and the New York Central Railway. Nothing changed life in the small rural community of Russell like the opening of the railway link to the outside world. Without adequate transportation, no community could hope to grow and prosper. By 1882, the closest railway station was at Osgood Village, 32 kilometers away. In 1882, the Ontario and Pacific Railroad Company was given the right to build a railway from Cornwall to Ottawa and to construct a bridge over the St. Lawrence River to connect with the United States. The name was changed in 1887 to the Ottawa and New York Railroad. The township of Russell raised $10,000 in June 1897 to be given as a bonus if the railway was completed and have 2 passenger trains a day running each way between Ottawa and Cornwall by July 1898. By the late fall of 1897, most of the railway line had been completed from the east end of Ottawa to Cornwall. This section of the line was officially opened on July 29, 1898. The construction of a bridge across the St. Lawrence River at Cornwall proved to be much more difficult than originally anticipated. During construction, the bridge section on the American side collapsed on September 6, 1898, killing 15 workers. 2 years later, in 1900, a 6-span steel truss bridge was completed and cleared the way for rail service between Ottawa and Tupper Lake, New York, a distance of 208 kilometers. On October 1, 1900, the first train officially crossed over the bridges, and this became the first railway in eastern Ontario with a direct link to the United States. There was a second collapse on the North Bridge in 1908. The 2 bridge accidents, combined with growing cost overruns, forced the company into receivership and, after struggling for several years, it was purchased in 1904 by an American company, the New York Central and Hudson Railway. In 1912, the rail line was leased to the New York Central Railway Company. The Russell Station was a 1-story wooden building painted in the New York Central colors, gray with green trim. A large water tank was constructed beside the station. Note in the photo Harry York's horse-drawn covered bus that met all the passenger trains and carried commercial travelers and others to the local hotels. Inside the Russell Station was an agent's room with several communication devices, a telegraph key, semaphore controls, and signal lanterns. There was also a baggage and freight room, and a waiting room with large hardwood benches around the walls. Train depots were built in Embrun to the east and Pana to the west. In the beginning, except for Sundays, there were 4 passenger trains and 2 mixed trains a day, with 3 trains traveling in each direction. A mixed train would carry both passengers and freight. Section crews were used to maintain the rail line, and this crew from Russell looked after the Pana to Embrun section. They would travel the line every day in the heat of the summer and during the extreme cold of the winter on their hand-pumped speeder. In the summer, they would replace rotted ties, cut grass, and brush along the right-of-way. In the winter, they would clear snow from the switches to make sure they were functioning well. During March of 1947, there was a big snowstorm, and the rail line was closed for 2 days. Large snowplows were attached to locomotives and were pushed up and down the rails to clear the drifts. The train station was the social center of the village. It served as the meeting place for anyone with time on their hands. Those who met the trains included retired farmers, the idle and curious, and, of course, little boys. A much healthier spot for them than today's neighborhood malls. It was a place to show off your new car or just hang out with friends on a Sunday afternoon. The train station was where families gathered after weddings to say goodbye to the newlyweds departing on their honeymoons. During the First and Second World Wars, the whole community would assemble at the station to say farewell to the troops leaving to go overseas. There were 2 passenger trains a day going south and 2 going north. You could leave Russell and arrive 42 minutes later at Union Station in Ottawa, across from the Chateau Laurier Hotel. It was great for daily shopping and sightseeing trips, or for attending the annual Ottawa exhibition at Lansdowne Park. Special trains were also chartered to carry the Russell hockey team and their supporters to playoff games in Ottawa or Cornwall. Children from Ramseyville, Edwards, and Pana used the train to attend the Russell Continuation School. Ruby James commuted to Russell on the train every day from Pana. She would hop on at 8:30 in the morning and arrive in Russell in time for school, and then catch the 6:30 train home at night. As a student, her train ticket cost $3 per month. After World War II, there was an increase in road building and automobiles became less expensive to own and run. The number of passengers on the train started to decline. In 1952, the last New York Central steam locomotive was replaced by diesel, and by 1954, passenger service was abandoned. After that, only freight trains ran along the line. On the 14th of February 1957, the last freight train passed through Russell. Agent Bernie Campbell met Engine 8304, handed over the records for the Russell station, and locked the door for the last time. By the fall of 1957, the tracks were removed and sold for scrap. The section of the right-of-way between Route 200, just west of Russell Village and east to Embrun, has been paved and converted into a multi-purpose recreational trail. The location of the Russell station is now a parking lot along the bike trail at the north end of First Avenue, between Mother Teresa School and the Russell Library. Both the Embrun and the Russell station buildings were moved to Barossa Street in Embrun and were converted into residences. The railroad played a prominent role by providing an excellent and cheap form of public transportation that connected a relatively isolated community to the growing North American transportation network. We hope this whets your interest in visiting our museum, and we look forward to seeing you here in the future.